Greetings and salutations, my operators, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we barely scraped out of the hole that our client dug us into by running away from the scene of the crime. Only to be quickly shoved back into the hole by the very confident Van Zeeks. And now we are at the second witness, which is a lovely pair of a police constable and his wife. And my god, do they love each other. So far, no real contradictions, so not looking great for our client.
It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Riley and I both saw him as clear as day.
I don't know what. Hold it! But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. What? It's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright. I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
What? Ah, yes. It was the accused. Make no mistakes. The mustache and the hunchback, the headlike eyes, the top mouth, the snub nose, unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Susaki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsumi ran away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no! Then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here...
What are you trying to say? That he's burying me? I know.
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsumi is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Ugh. Why do I always seem to be so up against it?
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. Was it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
What? No. Oh no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one, I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
And that will do, Miss Beat.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that I really will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene.
Wait, what? He only dropped 3.
Hold it!
Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for a good measure. I'm a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did for royally.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was the picture of Monsieur somebody or other, and what's it yearnings? And there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the thingamy something. You see?
Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Oh, here's a gun! Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have to answer me! Oh, have me to answer, too. Terrifying. Yes, she really is. So that's it, is it? Can I see the books? Oh, I can't examine with... There's a chance there's one behind her? Okay. I actually never read this. I forgot this actually had text on it. Incident report. Details. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound in the back. Victim, olive green. Female. Stout build. Early 20s. Location, pavement of Briar Road, East Side. Reporting officer, Royly Beat. And show notes. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from a single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. There were only 3 books. Wait, what do I present? The picture or the receipt?
Objection!
So, you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and the Thingy Gummies Something.
I'm sorry, Miss Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh wait, actually, I can read the titles. Where are they? The picture of Monsieur Lecoq, A Meal for Gaboriau? Gaboriau. And Canterbury's Yearnings.
Oh no, what flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books.
But no, that can't be. I saw them. Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me.
Sorry?
It's that big old lump of a dead body. The lady so large, her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book. That's all.
Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Miss B. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you described.
Why not?
Fascinating. And from your asserted tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume. Ah, evidence. Right, you need that at the lawyer. Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim, or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books? The receipt.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt. From your books? Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No.
Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madame, cannot be relied upon.
Yeah.
So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. 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 No.
Objection!
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. Ah. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife, and her entirely accurate testimony, in every respect.
Oh.
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say? Rude. Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand. I don't believe it. It's the fourth book. As you will observe, the fourth book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No. No! Order! Order!
There, you see? You see? Look at that! Look, look, look!
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir! Patricia's always right, sir!
Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The pictures of Monsieur somebody or another. Or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury Yearnings.
A meal for someone?
A meal for Gabriel, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titled flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir! Flawless, sir! Patricia is flawless!
But, there are only 3 books on the receipt,
And Mrs. Beat mentioned 4.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. The lines, what? I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The lion's pride. Oh my god. The victim was holding her own book?
I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officer at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. You will submit that and the aforementioned photograph print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord. The second crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. The 4th book has been entered into the court record. The prosecution. Less. Alright. Let's check out what these clues show us.
Oh, look at this! The book has been burnt badly.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
A book.
Recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me?
Huh. Cool. God, dude. Can we open it up, see like the opening pages?
Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. And very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Pretty annoying that you can't open it up and see like the first page, because, you know, people usually write their names in. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. the spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile?
I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, Pat! Marry me, Pat!
So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, it could very well just make matters worse. Think, Minosuke, think. What do you do now? Do we wait and see? Can we get like another summation examination? We're still in part 1. I don't know what we would raise an objection to, because there's nothing contradictory. Maybe I'll slip up. I should just keep quiet now and see what happens. Well, it appears the defense has no objections at this juncture. In which case...
Mr. Naruhodo, was I not clear? The case for the defense is in great danger.
Yes, I realize that. Which is why I decide to let the sweat drip from my trembling brow in silence. It's alright. Sorry. If I don't say anything now, it'll all be over. And it won't end well for us. I can't let that happen.
Hold it!
No, wait. The defense.
Objection!
The defense would have to wait. Because that sapless hesitation cannot go unpunished. Ugh. Isn't your derisive finger-pointing punishment enough? No. No, my learned friend. It's over. The last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... Can't think of what to say. Keep leaning over.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo!
One of this line's great guiding principles is tolerance. So, the court will hear you, madame. Go ahead, Mr. Sato, please. Very well. Play. What insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand. And thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case, and hitherto been overlooked. The fourth book.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book, found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel, that you will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is this final clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals?
Got it!
I will ask this court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you? Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh. Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. Wait, hold on a minute. The fight and the fire happened at 5. So that would mean this book couldn't be the same one. Or the crime happened at a different time? So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. An outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered? Its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious! How can you possibly? Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you for your little gamble, if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? One John Garridib. Or Garridib, apparently.
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garridib. The landlords? And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for the jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garridib herself. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garridib's wife. His maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garridib's house? I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say. You implicate his hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below. Oh my god, was she throwing shit out the window and the knife happened to stab her? Another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garridib's house. Good lord! What sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Afraid to say it was. Happened in a blink of eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. And the bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Bride. What? The Lion's Bride. By Jove! The very same title that the subject of this that's the subject of this debate. Oh dear me!
Objection!
This is reasonable. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garridib was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garridib even amid the flames.
Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly? Absolutely not, sir! My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir!
Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There I was, backed up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Its airy books coming 10 to the dozen. The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there was no report of the Gyarados window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Gyarados household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and... Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. How about the fire that was currently occurring? No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Gyarados' wife? I believe it's a possibility, Mr. My Lord. Mr. My Lord. That's quite enough! Thought so. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster! You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward! A mean coward! Really? Claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case. Not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you, that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Do right. Here we go. How long we sat here now, listening to this Nipponese spouting his fancy foreign theories. But I think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly stab the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache. And he ran away from the scene too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Sorry, what's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Venzeeks? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them in your own time. What? No forgive the discourtesy this time? In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty!
Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
Why do they not show the name? We know all the people here. That's the weirdest thing they decided to do. It's not a surprise. Most of the time. Miss Susato?
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
You're not suggesting.
Of course, the defense still has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense has to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve. I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. There's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Oh, that's the end part one. But yeah, the jury's real racist. I mean, everyone's here is racist. They're Great Britain, what? 1910 at the latest, I think. It's probably like 1880 at the earliest, I think. Try to remember my errors. Hi, I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman. We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Judicial findings. The juror's contentions. The accused left behind the evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might consider it. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Deary me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Yes. Considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one noble exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover... What glasses did he bring? No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking this might be hard.
But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
Ugh, no pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Rinosuke, focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garridib.
We have a book that disappeared from Mr. Garridib's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we had to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garridib and how she reacts. even to things other people say.
The defense's rebuttal. The accused left behind evidence of the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
Hold it!
But as we know now, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yeah? That's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said? That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palavia is all about. It's a done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since I have nothing way left to say.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might consider it.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my, such a light on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
That's great.
If one reads the morning paper, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
And not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over this said earlier, didn't he? Witches in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point in even having windows, huh? Counsel! You will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window is open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Dear me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Hold it!
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing as loving incendiary bomb. Well, he brought it up upon himself. Is playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett. Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. and I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime. Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrodib's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some ready with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning.
What?
You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about. You know, she can be fierce, you believe me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, Yo, it's funny. I can't quite remember.
Sorry?
I was too frightened. That's the thing. I must have blocked it out.
Helpful.
I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into the Thames by the scarf.
Don't even go there, Mrs. Sato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this.
Come to think of it, we got fired home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case?
Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Could you tell us more about the fire? That fire?
It was last winter. My grandchildren had baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top, it did. What a sight to behold it was!
You put candles on a cake? What? Was it some kind of devil worship?
Of course not! It was an angel cake! To celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that a common custom here in Great Britain. It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff and top puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place was filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire?
What a fiasco it was! The grandchildren, bless them, threw water all over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it.
The windows?
The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in a hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason.
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mrs. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. As well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just need a connection. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Alright, let's pit juror number 3. Oh, he updated his thing.
Winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you, you see.
Hold it!
Did you change your statement from before?
Well, yes. It was one of my most memorable birthdays, you see. I couldn't let it go unremembered.
I'm sure the defendant will be delighted that you are using his trial to explore your past. And how is that memory related to this case exactly?
Sorry. What's that? You'll have to speak up, I'm afraid.
Never mind. He's as deaf as a post. When he wants to be. But actually, this old man's antidote just might prove an alternative explanation I need to make my point to some of the other jurors.
We use unlit candles on my birthday this year. It's safer that way.
Objection!
These two juror statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again! I told you, it wasn't me!
What's that you say? Speak up, lad! Speak up!
Juror number 3, do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebration last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he went to open his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Gerardip household, and Mr. Gerardip had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh, my hat! Therefore, to clear the smoke, either Mr. Gerardip or his wife almost certainly opened the window. That, you cannot deny, would be in no way out of the ordinary. No, I suppose it wouldn't.
When you get to my age, you learn a thing or two, you know. And I can tell you, you'd have to be a prize idiot not to open the window if there was a fire, eh?
Yes, of course! I think I need to reconsider my statement. Yes, please do. That's a step in the right direction, I think. The window could have been open when the woman was throwing books. I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Hold it!
At the point when the victim was attacked on Briar Road, we know there was a small house fire in the Gerardip household on the opposite side of the street. Well, yes, it certainly seems that way. And on account of the smoke, I imagine they would have had the windows wide open,
Oh my.
in spite of the cold. We also know that Mrs. Gerardip was throwing flaming books at her husband. Her husband, who was backed into a corner by the window due to his wife's frenzied attack. Yes, that's right. There's definitely a chance that one of the books could have flown past the man and out the window. Only what? Well, I can't really see how it could have gone all the way to the other side of the road. That's all. So I don't really see how I can change my decision, really. Oh, I see. That wasn't enough? What is it going to take to persuade? What is it going to take to persuade these people?
Hold it!
Oh my.
Excuse me.
Juror number 4. Do you have something to say about this? About that? Mrs. Gerardip!
Oh, dearie me!
What's the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, Did you or did your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and the bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frankly trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire? Oh, you never stop Thorin until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course. As you have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Miss Naruto. You've managed to establish that the window is open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement.
Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true.
Hold it!
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it. You're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man! I didn't remember! At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on. As well you know. I really don't. I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. Right. Totally understandable. I mean, you can't waste time deciding what to use next, can you? When you feel the way I did, you don't care what it is. You just wanted to smash it to his face. You see where violence can lead, Mr. Sato?
I'm just heartened to think you might believe me capable of such behavior.
You threw me 6 times! In a day! 2 of them were uncalled for.
Anyway, I have a feeling I might have noticed someone reacting a little strangely to Mrs. Garrett's remarks just now.
Ah, perhaps I missed something while I was preoccupied.
Hold it! Oh boy.
Oh,
Excuse
he's having
me.
flashbacks. What is it, juror number 5?
You know something? I remember what it was. That memory I blocked out.
Ah.
It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back.
Who you calling granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's used to being hit all the time. Ooh, domestic violence. Depressing.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home from work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Oh dear. What a disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I couldn't hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did. About an inch deep.
No words, just terror.
I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night. I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything, you know, at you.
Well, I don't know where I got no from.
When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that. Wait, nervously.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, is so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare.
A woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me.
Hold it!
Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you?
That's right. She was chopping the meat with it. Had a tiny edge on it, believe me. Still, it's all memories, isn't it? It started with that smile she threw at me when we were courting. And since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship. There was a cup, then a glass, then a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wardrobe, a cooker, a bathtub.
Holy shit, how strong is this woman? Your wife must be even beefier than you.
And things came to a head last week when she threw me right into the Thames. Still, he's not so bad when she's calmed down. He's a little sweetheart, really.
So happy for you.
You wanna know what I think? I think the whole idea of ladies first, so that we're so obsessed with. I think this whole idea of ladies first that we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads who'd been tossed in the Thames a few too many times by their wives.
That's a very interesting theory.
What a terrible thought.
On the face of it, the juror's statement just sounds like a really extreme anecdote. But I think it might turn out to be rather... Oh, wow. Brain. Read. You can read. Dyslexia. Go away. I'm not even reading it wrong. It's the communication between my brain and my mouth that's completely messed up. But I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection.
Good grief! You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once!
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, was found at the scene of the crime. Originated in Mr. Garridib's room from the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object beside the book could have found its way from the Garridib household to the street below.
What's this now? What's that now?
After all, Mrs. Garridib could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she had a feeling this might be what happened.
Now listen here, you Eastern Gala. At the form of the jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it?
I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, by having any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman. I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Gyarados household to the scene of the crime was the weapon.
Take that!
Juror 4, Mrs. Gyarados.
What? What now?
I must apologize in advance for this, but I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Actually, I never actually looked at the knife. I think about it. Dang, damn it. No inscription.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruto. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Mr. Sato.
I wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear. I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful.
If we can find the other piece of this knife, we'll solve this case wide open.
Huh? Good Lord, Counsel! What on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged in into the victim's back, man!
My lord, remember when the victim was attacked? Mr. and Mrs. Gyarados were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Gyarados was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the scene of the crime.
You can't seriously believe that? The book was found in the victim's grasp.
Are you saying that flew out the window and crossed the street to land neatly in our hand?
Ha! Even my missus hasn't gone aim like that.
Yes, I admit. There are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Hey!
Mrs. Gyarados, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Oh! My lord.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, that's surprising. I thought it was Van Zeke's objecting.
My lord, I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madame.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman.
I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
We did it.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto.
So, as a result of the defense's submission examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue. Now then, Lord Van Deeks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed?
This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant, is good for nothing save the gutter.
If I may, Lord Van Deeks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened.
Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke, to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of the places being discussed.
What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time?
It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means the distance from the Garrett house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards? That's around 14 meters.
Really? That's that close?
14 meters?
Oh, that's a little farther than I imagined. And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, one only hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, nearly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend?
Okay, I think I know what happened.
The book fell in front of the victim, but because of the flaming book, or I guess because it was a flaming book, it put itself out on the snow. So when the victim went to pick it up, the knife then came sailing into the back of the victim. It all makes sense now. In a hilarious way. Real circus show here. And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
Miss Susano.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he!
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea of a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leanings. As such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joanne Gerda, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Sakes alive! A cross-examination of a juror? Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Ow!
And unnecessarily.
Lord Van Deeks!
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend Farcical Searly has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly.
What say you, witnesses?
Yes, sir! Constable Roy Beat reporting for duty, sir!
Well, good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing until now, sir! I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir! Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my dear, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more! Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon. I wish I could find someone like that.
Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request
Oh,
and order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events.
yes, sir!
Constable Beats report.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, our London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrett house are top hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rory was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
He told us that he was laying face down, so that's a contradiction.
Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows.
That detail was not in the in the police report, Constable.
Ah, yes. Sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy.
You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable.
No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course. Sorry.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
Alright, I'll try.
So the windows open in order to allow air. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as it's a top hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount.
It prevents it opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or a knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
No. You see the problem then. Good. Your education in windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already.
That can't be! Did you see that, Roy? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how you crumbled before me. Oh, Rory, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet. And already my argument's been destroyed.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself up right again, the court awaits your cross-examination.
My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. Oh, it's been a long week for him. It's Tuesday.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, I'll London Bobby. It's good for his word.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty.
Gotta wait for my throat to close back up.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? I can't say I remember.
To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that's why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good for his word, while rubbing my tired eyes immediately. Stop! Oh, Riley, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat. Oh, Riley.
No, this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett?
Oh, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my ability, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yes?
I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the Great British Institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London Bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I only just arrived here.
So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Thank you. I'll try. Okay, unexpected. Constable Beat's warrant card has been entered into the court record. A small folding wallet that identifies London Bobbies and contains the rules of conduct to which they must adhere.
You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrett house are top hinged casements.
Principles of policing. Item number 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item number 2. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Metropolitan Police Regulations. That's apparently a different thing. Item number 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Item number 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Well, I don't think it really helps.
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct?
Yes, sir. They're just allowed a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open.
And therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road.
Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable.
And what would that be, sir?
How do you even know? Why would you have an idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garridib's house is furnished with?
Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
You helped? In what way?
Various members of the public were questioned in order to gather information about the case.
That's right, sir. The sad truth is, we're all overworked. So even though it wasn't under the jurisdiction of my own beat, I obviously wanted to help.
I see. Well, thank you.
Oh, is it my turn now?
Hold it!
Alright, what? Is Patricia's reaction actually relevant? Let's see. Is it possible that the book slid over, but then that doesn't explain the knife? Ah, goddamn, missed it. So long.
Hold it!
Okay, I gotta be careful after the windows, or after he shows the scroll. Okay.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat?
Sorry.
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering. That's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh yes, that street, Broad Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Constable Beat! Oh! Yes, that's right! That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garridib house yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see? Sir? That really was kind of close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garridib household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside of Mr. Garridib's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on the other side of the road is part of my beat. Oh, but the pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if that woman had been attacked just on the other side of Broad Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of Bobby after all.
They didn't move the body, did they? Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruto. I'll take care of it immediately.
The case file information has been updated in the court record. The pavement where the victim was found was just outside Constable Beat's beat. the border of which runs down the middle of the Briar Road.
Well, now it's my turn, I think. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already, and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for a lucky star.
Sorry?
A star that would guide us to eternal happiness.
Can it guide you to answer the question?
If a flaming book had crossed across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star. If I had seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars.
In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you?
Yes, sir. That's correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir.
It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we thought the poor woman would fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer. Is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is what is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
Oh, please.
So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. Oh, I was off duty at the time, of course, but true Bobby is never really off duty, sir.
Starting to suspect this Bobby corrupt.
I take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment. Sir, nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing to report?
That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Gyarados household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Aha! Could be a different copy, sir. One that just happened to be burnt as well.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from the photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how the knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must have been some common thread between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
I might have to go on overtime for this. Oh, yes, of course. Was it?
You're down us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as a wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it. my voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Miss Beat. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the stage one.
That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my royalty won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Hold it!
Mrs. Beat, nobody's questioning what you've told us.
I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. And I know I didn't, and I know why I didn't see as well. I see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction?
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Royally. He gets ever so cross.
Excuse me.
Constable Beat, is there a problem?
No, sir. No problem, sir.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening, is all.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way? On the night of the incident?
Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone far a bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone for a good 15. Oh, Roly, you're such a tease. But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Roly's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, how romantic.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling? Ah!
Huh?
Ah! Oh, yes! But that was just between us! No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet.
Miss Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned, I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? I'd love to. What happened was, I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yeah, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked. I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on?
Yes, I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice call me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
That's right. Silly me. I've gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I really can't.
So bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when he left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me, with the change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this solitary rose?
Oh! Oh! Yes, that's it! That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose.
Tell us, Lord Vendeeks, where did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Gyarados household.
In front of the Gyarados house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh,
The anniversary bouquet has been entered to the court record. A present for Patricia Beat from her husband, Rolly. The shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood.
but it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back.
Good grief! Rest assured, I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
I didn't take my eyes off the... Okay. Oh, I thought that was the repeat of the first one. I'm sleepy.
Well, Mr. Naruto, what do you make of all this?
Yes. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. A fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime. Made me sure that Mrs. Gyarados was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else is hiding something from us as well. And we'll learn who that someone is next time. Because knowing how long this game goes with its epilogue for a case, it's gotta be at least 45 minutes. Not counting how long it's gonna take me to get to the conclusion of the case in general. So, until then, thank you everyone who joined me today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!